Hello friends and welcome to Science in Mr. Scott's Kitchen. Today we're going to do something really fun. We actually have two experiments. I'm going to take you through the first one. And this one is You're So Veiny Capillary Action. And when we're talking about veins, another word for veins is capillaries. It's a way for nutrients, that is food and water, to come through the tree, to go through the branches, and to get to these leaves. And we see right here, we were covering this yesterday, these are the veins of the leaves I'm showing you right here. Okay, this is the midrib vein that goes from the petiole, from the stem to the petiole. That's where the stem attaches to the leaf, right up through the middle of the leaf. Now, the nutrients will come right through the stem and go into these different veins, through these main veins first, and then out into these secondary veins that go out to the tips of the leaves there. All right, now this experiment will take you through step by step if you look at this. Okay, we're going to observe the veins in the leaf. We're going to explain that veins help nutrients and water get to the plant. We're going to fill a glass with water and food coloring. And in this case, they said they used red, and they made it very concentrated. So I have with me a glass of water. You don't need to fill it up to the top. I just put a little bit at the bottom there. Okay, and here's my red food coloring. So to make it concentrated, you're going to have to put a bunch of drops in there, and you're going to have to depend on your parents to help you with this, to figure out what concentrated is. But in my mind, concentrated would probably be about 6 drops of this or so. Make sure this water in this cup gets really, really red. And then once it does that, you're going to go ahead and put your stem into the water and have your leaf come out the top, just like that. Okay, and then over time, what should happen is, right here it's saying wait a few hours and observe the red food coloring. I'm looking at this bullet point right here. As it travels up the leaves into the veins. That is pretty cool. You could also do this with celery. I have not tried that. I actually have not tried this with the leaf. I'm going to try it tomorrow when you try it. So prior to assigning this, I have not tried this, but I will try it with you as well. And just to explain what's happening is capillary action is the process by which water travels up from the ground, through the roots of the tree, through the branches, up the stem, and through the veins to the tips of the flowers or leaves. And this is a little note. This is why it's important that when you water plants, you're not watering their leaves. Okay, if you water them at the base of the plant, like I have a plant right here, I'll show you. This was actually a gift for my wife on Mother's Day. This is actually I don't know what kind of plant this is. Let's see what it is. It is a calla lily. Okay, and it's a beautiful plant. But when I water this, I go ahead and water it right down in here. If I dug with my finger in here, that's where the roots of the flowers or the plant are going to be. So when you're watering, it's important to do that. But when you water it here, it's going to get to the leaves here. It's going to get to the flowers here by flowing up through these stems, of the flower or plant, until those nutrients, in this case the water, gets right to those flowers and leaves. It's the same concept, the same process. All right, so that's the first experiment. So I'll go ahead and send you this. Right here it shows a picture of what it should look like once the food coloring is in it. And I know this is hard to see because it's black and white, but here's the initial version of the leaf. And it looks like they're showing the back end of the leaf. Okay, which looks pretty similar to that, right? I'm using a maple leaf. I'm using a big maple leaf. That might be a good one to use if you have a maple. But then after, it should be saturated with that red color or blue or whatever color you choose. All right, and the other experiment, so that's all about looking at the veins and the capillaries of leaves. This next experiment is, do leaves breathe? And we know that leaves breathe. We've covered that. We know that they can go ahead and absorb carbon dioxide. And we know that they also emit, that is, they give off oxygen, which gives us the air we need to breathe. So it says it right here Leaves don't breathe like we do, but they do expel oxygen. Okay, so this is a way to prove that leaves do expel oxygen. So it'll take you through the experiment here. You just need fill a bowl with room temperature water, go outside and find a leaf on a tree, pull it off and put it in the bowl of water, put a rock or heavy item on it so it stays submerged. Submerged means that it stays under the water. Put the bowl in a sunny spot, and I think we're going to have a sunny day tomorrow, so this should work out well, and wait a couple of hours. When you check on the leaf, you will notice air bubbles on the bottom and around the edges of the bowl. Okay, remember we talked about that on the back of the leaf is where it has those little pores. I know it's hard to see it here because this is just a camera phone. But if you put this under a microscope, you'd see these pores, these little, almost like the pores on our skin. Okay, I know that's also hard to see. If you get too close to this camera, it actually goes out of focus. But there are pores here, and that's where it would give off the oxygen. All right, but by seeing bubbles in the water like we're seeing in this example, we know there's nothing else in that water that's going to give off bubbles. A rock is not going to give off bubbles because it's not a living thing. But a leaf will get off bubbles because it is a living thing, and it proves that there is oxygen inside of that leaf. So 2 fun experiments we could do. This would be a great one to do if you don't have food coloring. I'm sure you have a rock and a bowl of water and a leaf, so you can go ahead and do that one. But if you want to do both, great. If you only do one, great. And maybe tomorrow we will compare our notes on how our experiments went. Maybe you can even bring your leaves with you, especially the food coloring ones. All right, everyone have fun. Everything I'm showing you here, like this sheet here, I am going to include those in a PDF. So it'll be about 4 to 5 pages of PDFs for each experiment. All right, everyone have fun, and I will see you soon.